trusting God. We've been talking a little bit about David and Goliath over the last few weeks. And you'll have to remember one of the things that I mentioned in passing last week, and that is that David and Goliath is not about David and Goliath. That's the common misconception, especially from atheists or non-believers, or at least people who are not well-versed in Scripture. They think that the story of David and Goliath applies to them because they're small and their problem is great. It does not necessarily pertain to you, because David and Goliath is not about David and Goliath. It is also not about David or Goliath. It is about trusting God. But what he did not understand is, in order to fight this battle, your help will not suffice. The world tries to convince us that we will need their resources in order to conquer. They will try to convince you that the way you are going to fight against poverty is a higher income. Not money management, a higher income. They will try to convince you that your way out of addiction is taking prescription medication. They will try to convince you that your way to a stronger relationship is just getting a different spouse. That is not the remedy. You need something different in order to fight that giant. David says, I cannot go with these because I have not tested these. That was his response whenever whenever King Saul gave him the sword and gave him the armor. He said, I cannot go with these because I have not tested these. However, David had tested trusting God. That's why he says in Psalm chapter 20, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will call on the name of the Lord. He said, I trusted God whenever I had to fight the bear and the lion to protect the sheep. So your sword means nothing to me. Your armory means nothing to me. Your money, your wealth, your programs, your politics, your legislation, all of your remedies mean nothing to me, because I've made it this far trusting God, and I'm going to make it through the greatest struggle of my life.